There are reports that some sort of bird tornado has touched down in the area.
Hey guys, it is Natch. I am here to do a 100% guide for Cities Skylines. I am on the PS4 version. This is going up to the the airport's DLC. Just want to let you guys know, again, I'm on the PlayStation. From what I know, the console versions are very similar. So if you're an Xbox player, this guide should help you out for the most part. There may be slight differences in the way you have to go about things. I do know though, if you are on the PC, you guys would have a different set of requirements for some of the trophies, but generally you could probably use the same practice that I'll be implementing in this guide. I am tailoring this to be somewhat patch proof, meaning that, as patches get released, the developers change things. However, this guide is kind of set so that, in terms of making money and ways to kind of abuse the mechanics, if so you may say, that, you will be able to do that regardless of patches. My belief and understanding is basically just because in order for the developers to address the issues, they would pretty much have to redo the entire mechanics, and really, it's not so much of abuse. I would think that the developers actually wanted you to use it in certain ways, but it's just kind of exploiting it more than an abuse, I guess. Same thing, I guess. I don't know. Depends on your cup of tea and understanding. I do understand that there are other guides out there, most of them written. There are some video guides, though I don't really see any 100% guides out there, and hoping that this could be a one-stop shop for a lot of people, and I just want to involve the community. Feedback always helpful. Appreciate it. And again, this is for 100%. There are people out there that believe and suggest that you do not buy the DLCs. Even if you're going for 100%, they would recommend going for the Platinum first. That's specific to one trophy where you have to unlock all buildings. I would argue and say and actually believe that you should get the DLCs. If you're going for 100%, buy all the DLCs that have trophies associated with them. This is because of one trophy I will get into a little bit later. So I would say if you're going for 100%, buy all the DLCs with trophies. And on top of that, I have all the free DLCs and only DLCs that have trophies with them. There are others. I don't have them installed. I didn't play with them. And just before I get in, I want to give a shout out, some credit where it's due. Palesius over at TA, he has a magnificent written guide. It's continually updated. Props to him. I refer to it quite a few times for things I was a little bit stuck on. And I also want to give a shout out to Bustedclutch over on the Steam forums. It wasn't really until I started seeing what he was posting where I really started understanding the game mechanics and how to use that in my favor and start speeding up my guide to, or my road to 100%. And moving on, I just want to warn everybody that this game comes with cheats. If you enable any of them, it will prevent you from unlocking trophies. So if you are playing for fun, you want to use cheats, go ahead. If you're playing, obviously for trophies, don't enable any cheats. You won't be able to unlock any trophies with them on. Also, if you accept a bankruptcy bailout, this happens when your balance goes below 0. If you accept it, it will also disable trophies. So do not accept any bankruptcy bailouts. Okay, So if you are already familiar with the game and you need specific things want to be addressed in this guide, go ahead, refer to the description, jump to where you want to go. I'm going to start getting into the basics just for new players who are kind of curious about this game, what to expect. So jumping in right now. So obviously you're going to go ahead and pick any map you want. I personally suggest Two Rivers. You could change the city name, traffic. Here you would say your disaster frequency, the random disaster frequency, dynamic weather, daylight, and cheats, and then move forward. And when you start any map, you'll always be connected to a highway and a water source. The highways lead outside the map for tourism, exports, imports. So you'll see you'll start on the map just on a single tile. You can't do anything really until you build a single road, and it has to be this very first road, the 2-lane road. Once you do that, if you just did this, you unlock other 2-lane roads, the medium and large, highway, stuff like that, and also residential, commercial, and industrial zoning, and power and water. The thing to keep in mind with water, if you are doing you generally are going to do the pumping station, you're going to notice when you select on it that the water flows a certain way. You're going to want to put your pump at the beginning, and you're going to want your sewage at the end. And this is because, obvious reasons. If you do the opposite, then the sewage is going to flow downward, and your water pump is then going to start pumping sewage. Your residents are going to be happy, they're going to get sick, they're going to leave and or die. Do that, and then with your energy you could go clean, go fuel, whichever. You're going to notice on certain buildings that there's going to be an orange hue. This is for noise pollution. Anything within the radius is going to be affected by noise pollution. You're also going to notice some with an orange and a purple ring around them. Purple represents just regular pollution. So anything within that radius is going to be affected by pollution. So keep that in mind when you're building your town. Obviously, only in certain situations you would be building noise pollution and pollution next to your residential, mainly in scenarios. That's pretty much it. You're going to have a menu, radio, listen to whatever you want while you're playing. Areas, as you play longer, you're going to be able to unlock these up to 9 at this point. Economy is where you set your taxes, your budget, your loans. You can see your income and expenses. Info view, this is a more detailed view on certain things that are going on in your city. Transportation routes, this is where you can see everything on your mass transits. Milestones, this is where you're gonna, as your population grows, you're gonna unlock more and more things. I believe it goes up to 90,000 at this point. It could be higher in the future or lower, but pretty much go up to there. Policies, this is where your services are. Taxations, city planning, and events, they will unlock as your population grows. And then city info, this is just basic stuff. You're never really going to use this, and that's that. And if you press down on your L3 button, you will pause. And then if you hold it down, you can go up to 3 times speed. And that's pretty much it. So you're going to build roads, build services, build houses, build stuff, build the city. And that's it. So I want to get into the goal of this guide. It's basically all surrounding 3 trophies. And that is the I Want It All trophy. That is unlocking all buildings. This one's a little wonky. I believe it varies a little bit depending on the council, probably depending on the patch. For me, I could say that for PlayStation at this point in time, you do not have to unlock the Eiffel Tower. I had to unlock every other building except that, and also the winter unique buildings. So I will say that for PlayStation at this point, you do not have to unlock the Eiffel Tower. So as you can see right here, I have all the buildings except Eiffel Tower. And it could be different for Xbox, could be different for PC. Just keep that in mind. So as you're going through this guide, just always keep that in mind that you want to be working towards unlocking all buildings, mainly the unique buildings, which will then unlock the monuments. There are two specific ones you're going to want to save for last. That's the Sphinx for Scenarios and Sparkly Unicorn Rainbow Park. That is at the end of my guide, so just keep that in mind. The other trophy that you're going to be working towards is 1,001 Nights. This is cumulative. It doesn't have to be on a single playthrough or a map. It is basically experiencing 1,001 nights of in-game, which equivalates to about 150 real-time hours. So this is ideally the last trophy you're going to be going for. I don't recommend trying to get it out of the way in the beginning. You're just kind of wasting your time. And then for the last trophy you're going to be working towards, and this is why I say buy all the DLC. It is going to be the most frustrating trophy for likely most people. It is called the What The trophy. Basically, you are looking for a unique tornado to spawn randomly. It's called a Chirpnado. It's blue. It is random. You cannot force it. To my knowledge, there's no guide, to make sure it happens. I believe the chances of it spawning are less than 1 in 300. So again, this is something that you're constantly going to have the random disaster meter set to the highest while you're playing. It's going to be a nuisance because you're going to be working towards other stuff and you got disasters hitting, but hopefully you'll get it shortly. For me, I relatively got it short. It was like 30 hours of gameplay. Still a hassle, but thankfully once I got it done, I didn't have to worry about it. I do believe that, and it's just a theory, it's not been proven, but if you play on a map, why I suggested Two Rivers was because if you play on a map that is inland, you basically wipe out the chance of a tsunami hitting. So that's one less disaster to worry about. If you pick a map that's very friendly to tornadoes, maybe tornadoes are more likely to spawn. If you do something where the terrain is too high, maybe tornadoes probably wouldn't. So, keep that in mind, kind of use common sense. Again, it's not proven, but it's just a hunch. Hopefully it works out for you regardless and you get it sooner than later. So now I'm going to get into some tips. When playing this, you're going to want to keep your autosave to 5 minutes at the most. I believe it comes standard at 10. Switch it to 5. Could go to 2, could even go to 1. I think 5 is fine. Disaster frequency, like I said, you're going to want to keep that on the highest until you unlock the Chirpnado. Once that is done, you can just turn it off. Map selection, again, I would just suggest Two Rivers. It has really high resources. I got the Chirpnado on there relatively quickly. I would just suggest that just because of that. Day-night cycle, it comes standard on. Make sure it is on. That way you're working towards your 1,001 nights. The roads, in my opinion, you only need one type of road, and that is the 2-lane decorative road. Use the trees or the grass. I guess just go with trees because they're prettier. But I say this because if you're building your city right, you're not going to have to worry about a lot of traffic, and you kind of maximize your square footage. Decoration lowers the noise pollution and increases the land value. So you'd be using that, and the 1-lane versions are the same. In my opinion, you don't need medium and large roads. It kind of just messes up the city. if you're playing for fun, obviously do what you want, but this guide, again, it's more for efficiency and getting this done as fast as you can. For taxes, at this point in time, the highest you can go without citizens getting unhappy and leaving is 12%. So you should always have your taxes set for 12%. Budget, just keep your budget at 100. People say, mess around with it on certain things and like that, but in my opinion, you should just either take away services that you're spending too much on that you don't need, or if more are needed, obviously just build more. Don't mess with the budget. With loans, take them as you need them, or just take them as they come, really. Once they become available, you're going to be making a lot of money pretty quickly, and when you unlock new milestones, you're going to get a huge increase of cash flow at that time, so you could just pay them off almost immediately once you hit a milestone. So just use them until basically you don't need them anymore. Policies, you're going to be using quite a few policies to unlock trophies. There's not really any, in my opinion, that you need to have on all the time, other than probably recycling and recreational use. It's probably just the most beneficial, that doesn't really do anything that much. For taxation, you're not going to use any of these. City planning, though, you're going to always want to have these for going. The small business, big industrial, and high-tech housing, just always have that going. If you're running into a lot of issues with traffic, then maybe encourage biking, though if you're following this guide, you're not going to be needing that. Specialized zones, in my opinion, the best specialized zone, at a certain point you're going to be able to do these and set districts to certain ways with every type of building. Self-sufficient buildings, I feel, are just probably the best way to go. Usually you get your most money from residential, but using this guide, you're likely going to be getting most of your money through other means. So even though you're getting 30% less tax income, I would say this is actually a pretty good thing to use. Not for the entire map, but for a good half of it, especially areas where you don't have a lot of services for garbage disposal, like incineration plants. And the one thing you're going to want to look out for the most that is going to affect and could possibly cause huge swings in your population and income are death cycles. So every 6-7 years, your old citizens are going to pass away. So the best way to combat this is really just putting a ton of crematoriums everywhere. Not like right next to each other, but you kind of see how, I have them connected to different roads. And one for basically each section, for like 4 blocks deep, and just have it keep going. And this is gonna really minimize how badly the death cycles affect your city. I find that is the best thing to do. And then for money, making the most money, this is very important. I'm gonna just say you're gonna want, early game, you're not gonna have access to mass transit. You're going to just kind of build normally, but then once you unlock the metro, this is going to be basically your bread and butter. Ideally what you're going to want to do is build your residential, then build your commercial, and then industrial. Your commercial is going to separate the two. Though, what you're going to want to start doing, as you unlock the metro, is you're going to want to isolate your residents. So you don't want your resident connected to anything. You don't want them connected to any roads, any other, just completely isolated. And then you're going to, basically, that's going to force them to use the metro or any other kind of transit to get out of there. And that's just going to bring a huge ton of revenue. And you're going to want to then have also your education areas, your not necessarily elementary schools, but your high schools and universities. You're going to want them plopped next to your business. You don't really need to worry about industry. That could just be by itself, but you definitely want your high schools, universities right next to commercial, and then have your other metro right where the campus is. And then you're going to have a bus stop, ideally, that just goes from there to the commercial and back. And, you're just going to be making a lot of money there. The other thing you're going to want to do is using the parks DLC. Doesn't matter which park, pick any. You're going to you'll create the district once you unlock it. Create a district. You could use the amusement park or anything. You're just going to build 2 gates, the main gate and a side gate. And then you're just going to build a road, just like that. And so, this residence all blocked off. Here's the commercial. My citizens want to go down there, and you're going to make a ton of money this way. I mean, look, you're, making basically 10,000 just from this intersection right here. And that's where you're going to be making a ton of money. Bread and butter, right? And of course, you're going to want to, increase tourism. Exports don't really need as much, but tourism's really good. And again, you're going to always want to be working towards the I Want It All trophy. There are 2 things I just want to point out that I somewhat struggled with, and I couldn't really find a solution. I just want to put it on here right now, is that for the academic library, it's a unique building. One of the last steps to unlock it is having 300 library users. And what I did was I took out everything in my city with an entertainment value. So, you'll see anything that has entertainment associated with it, destroy it. And then just start plopping libraries all over your city. And you should get 300 users relatively quick that way. You could also, once you do that, you could also put on the, I forgot what it's called, book fair. That'll help a little bit, maybe, but you shouldn't really need it. Everyone, since there's not going to be anywhere to go, everyone's going to want to go to the libraries, right? Also for the Run Bambi trophy, that's getting hit by a forest fire. So you cannot, to start a forest fire, you would go here. So if you just put a forest fire out in the middle of nowhere, you're not going to get the trophy. It has to be in your city, and you could just, light any fire here, using the forest fire, and then you'll get it. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so now I'm going into the trophies. So I split this up into parts. I think this is the most efficient way to go about it. This is what I did. Or actually, I didn't do it, but I would suggest doing this because it would have made my road to 100% a lot faster, assuming that I hit my chirp NATO the same time I did. So I'm going to say for part 1, you're going to want to go for 2 trophies, Happy Town and Tough City. I say this because these 2 trophies are somewhat out of the way, and they kind of go against what you're eventually going to work towards, which is, the main goal that I Want It All, and 1001 Nights. So get these 2 out of the way first. Happy Town, it's an overall happiness, so you could just go to info view and you can look at your citizens' happiness. I believe I had hit 100% residential at one point. Commercial, I don't know if you could get above 90 ever, but office and industrial you can definitely get above 95 as well. So you really want to keep building your city, keep your commercial zones happy, residents happy, everyone happy, and then once you hit kind of the sweet spot of population and happiness, just stop building. Just let the money accumulate and go for some miscellaneous stuff. Don't mess around with it. Just wait for the 5 years. Once the trophy pops, then you're good to go. And once you do unlock it, I suggest making 2 separate save files at this point. And then once you do, go for Tough City, which is basically the opposite. And the best way to go to get that is raise your taxes, destroy all service buildings, especially the police departments. And that one you kind of have to keep an eye on because you still need a population. You're going to be having negative money. You'll likely go under zero. Just keep rejecting the bankruptcy bailouts. But you want to make sure you still have citizens, but the crime rate is high enough to unlock the trophy. But it'll pop a lot faster, so not too bad. So the first thing you're going to want to do, as you're going for Happy Town, is you're going to want to just go ahead and build your wind turbine. This is gonna net you the green energy trophy. For your water outlets, don't go with the water drain pipe. Go with the inland water treatment plant. This is gonna work towards your Waters of Our Lives trophy. Once you do unlock that, you can go ahead and delete it. And in my opinion, I just would use the Eco water treatment plant until you get the Eden monument. You still need an outlet, so I would still use them. So when you're in going for Happy Town, in your downtime, go ahead and you could change the road name. First one you're going to want to do is change the name to Steve. That's going to get you a road called Steve trophy. Centurion, you're going to have to rename 100 roads. So again, it's kind of similar. You could really just delete one letter, or you could add a letter or a number, and that's sufficient. Do that 100 times, you'll get Centurion. As you unlock milestones, you are going to unlock more services and buildings. Once you do, you're going to want to get a post office. Just put one down, and that's going to work towards the Postman trophy. Speed up, you're going to want a road maintenance service. That's going to be in roads. That's going to be right here. It's going to be this building. Put it anywhere. That's going to work towards the speed up trophy. Cables galore. Cable cars, that's a mass transit. It's going to be right here. You just build one. Build one over here. It doesn't even have to be this long. It could be super short. Just make sure it's 2 points. I would actually have done it this way. Residential to commercial. To get a lot of money. That's going to get you cables galore, aquaculture, and Fisher King. So in your industries tab for the DLC, you're going to have fish. Go to the fish, and you could just do a harbor. Put the harbor down. You're going to let's see if I can get in there, and then you're going to create a route, and then just connect it to the see if I can do this. Can I do this? There we go. And then just have it circle back. Oh, there we go. Something like that. And then it'll go around and fish. And then the other thing is the farms. These are a lot easier. You just put one down. Make sure the area is what it is fishing, usually tuna. And then that's going to get you the aquaculture and Fisher King. Trolleyface, similar to cable galore. Once you unlock the trolley, put one down, connect it, and then with the roads, it could just be a circle around the block. Just like this. Just change it all to that, and then one route. That's going to get you Trolleyface. Eventually, World of Rotorcraft helicopters. That's going to be over here. You're going to need a helicopter depot first, and then you're going to need a pad, two pads, 2 stops, and then do your lane, connect them. Let's do it like this. So it could even be like this. Huh, that's funny. There we go. And then, this is just a little. Always do freeform with this. It's just helpful. You just there we go, and then oh no, something in the way. Go like that. There you go. And then you could just do a path between these two, and that's it. There you go. And eventually you'll get World of Rotorcraft, Airlifter, 10,000 passengers. You could do this with the airport DLC. You could also do this with the regular airport. I suggest the regular airport because you're going to eventually need to do this to unlock Aviation Club, which is part of another trophy. So just do this, and after 10,000 passengers, I would just delete it. Academic Scholar, 100 academic works. So at some point when you're able to unlock university campuses, I highly recommend never go with the standard university. It caps out, it's got a 4,500 capacity. Your campuses can go a lot higher than that, and so I would just always just stick with the campuses, and you need them for the trophies anyways, right? So once you put those in, you're gonna be able to work towards, after every academic year, you're gonna gain more and more academic works, and this is basically where that goes. And you're gonna want your academic staff set to 25. You're gonna be able to have grants where you see everything already has been researched. There's going to be a grant. You could add an extra one. You don't really need to for this trophy. If you're just going at it, over time you're going to get to 100. You'll get Academic Scholar. So part 2, this is after Happy Town, Tough City. Go ahead and reload first save, and for these next trophies you're going to basically reset after unlocking each one. So for Earthloving City, no water or ground pollution, you're basically just going to delete anything that causes pollution, and that includes your sewer outlets. Get rid of them. Yes, your citizens are going to be upset, but once everything is clean, it'll take a little bit, but once it's clean, you are going to unlock that, and you should unlock the Greenest City trophy as well, because you've got rid of all the industrial things that are polluting the ground and power plants. So you should get both at the same time. Super self-sufficient, all houses being self-sufficient housing. All you got to do is just have your whole map be one district, and then just set everything to the residential right here. Same goes with IT. Once you unlock offices, you're going to have to do that. Same goes with Organic. You're going to have to do that. And doing those, you're going to get the super self-sufficient I to the T Organistic. Okay, so after you have all those done, now we're getting into part 3 of my guide. You're going to go ahead and reload the second reload. And you're going to be working towards the Come Fly With Me trophy. This is the main goal of this part. I do this because it's a little tricky. If you have other things for tourists to go do, it's going to take away from the Aviation Club. And for me, this was one of my last trophies, and I didn't get it until a population of 90,000. So you're gonna, first want all your policies to everything that increases tourism, just everything. And then you're gonna only want your Aviation Club to be the only thing with entertainment value. And so that's where everyone's gonna want to go. You're also gonna want to go to city planning and get airplane tours. It should be the very last one, and that's gonna also increase that. And then same thing, just build you're going to have your campus high school next to your commercial. You just go ahead and plop your Aviation Club right next to it too. And then, even if you want, I would just create a road from the highway that goes directly to the Aviation Club and, your mass transit. If it is out of the way, and let's just say there were buildings here, just go ahead and do an underground one and then just have it pop up right there. So again, everything is going to the aviation club. Once you get the Come Fly With Me trophy, you can go ahead and just get rid of it. Don't really need it at that point, and that you could just continue to work on the I Want It All trophy and other unique buildings that require entertainment value buildings to be built that would otherwise take away tourism. So that's why I say get Come Fly With Me out of the way. And also keep in mind that as your population is increasing, I would go ahead and make a separate save file at every 10,000 population bump. That way, for certain I Want It All trophies, it is cumulative. Remember that. So if you unlock a unique building in one map, it is automatically unlocked in your other, regardless of population size and so forth, in milestones. So go ahead and make separate saves at 10,000 population bumps. So some buildings may be easier to unlock at certain areas of near development of the map. Keep that in mind. And then you'll also want to just go ahead and knock out 2 other trophies, Power to the People and Make Them Pay. This is basically having people, your residents, pay more than industry and vice versa. So for the first one, just keep your residential at 12, make everything else 6, just to be safe. And then once that trophy pops, the Make Them Pay, you're just going to do the opposite, right? You're going to have all that at 12, have these down to 6, and then that will get you the Power to the People. And these are relatively short, super fast. Get those knocked out of the way. Another thing is for the Grand Central Terminal unique building, you're going to need to build 7 cemeteries. That are these. Build 7, let them fill up. You'll unlock that, and then afterwards go ahead and unload them. The crematoriums will go pick them up, and then you can delete them. Same thing goes for the Professional Dumper trophy. City service for waste. Landfill sites, have 5 of them, let them fill up, you'll get the trophy. Empty them out, ideally incineration plants, and then go ahead and delete them. Varsity Sports Patron, all Varsity Sports on one campus. So, once you build a campus, you're going to be able to build Varsity Sports, that's everything right here. Have them on one campus. Aqua Center, basketball, track and field, baseball, American football, have them all on one campus. And that's, you'll get that trophy. Higher learning, you build all campus types. So, once you have all campuses, there's 3 types at this point. There's trade school, liberal, and university. They will unlock as the prestige goes up. So obviously more students come in. The higher the prestige, the more buildings you can unlock. So once you get all that, you just build them all and the trophy will unlock. You have to build them all for every single campus. For-profit education, I have a separate guide for this. I'm going to put it in the description. It goes into a little bit more detail. Generally, once you have a campus with over 5,000, you're going to go into it. And this is a little tricky. It varies. It's a little glitchy. But you're going to want to go into the campus policies, turn off everything. You could have free lunch, I guess. Academic works, turn the academic staff down to 0. And then if you have varsity sports on, turn all that down to 0. Once you have that, go to your city's policies, turn off all your policies, make sure they're all off, and then go down to for-profit education, turn that on, and that should unlock the trophy. For airport architect, build an airport, terminal, runway, and aircraft stand. You're going to use your airport's DLC. You're going to have to make it. This is actually also a great tool to just level out your field too. I mean, you can kind of see, obviously, like, I leveled this all out just using this. I felt this was the fastest way to do it. So once you do that, you're going to go ahead and build the terminal. You're going to build the runway stand, concourse, very simple. Your runway is going to have to be really long, keep that in mind. And then the taxiway, just, you know, kind of like on ramps for your highway. Just have it connect to the runway and then go in a circle to connect to your stand. Your stands have to be connected to the concourse. You know, pretty self-explanatory, common sense, real life. And then that will get you airport architect. Higher education, this could be done gradually. There are two ways to really do this. So gradually, you know, 70% of your citizens highly educated. That means graduated from university with a population over 10,000. That can be done, normal gameplay, but if not, towards your end game, you're gonna have monuments unlocked, get the Hadron Collider, and that's just gonna make everyone super smart, and you'll get it there too. So now going into part 4. This is my cleanup section. This is where you should have a population of at least 150,000. This is going to make things a lot easier. You know, the higher you can go, if you can even get to 200, I mean, things should unlock a lot faster. And you know, this is basically, you're just going to get the I Want It All trophy done, as well as some miscellaneous trophies. So my preference is, you know, work on the unique buildings that will unlock the monuments. And for the monuments, you're going to want to go ahead and prioritize them by the Hadron Collider, then the Fusion Power Plant, Eden Project, Medical Center, and then Space Elevator. I just suggested that way. I felt that was just the way to go. You don't have to do it that way though. And then getting out other miscellaneous trophies, Simulated City, 9 map tiles. You know, eventually you're going to be able to have a map tile size of 9. Once you do that, you'll get that trophy. Well Informed, that's going to your info view, going through every single bit. Once you do that, you'll get the Well Informed trophy. City Planner, 3 district tools, that's just going to your district tool. Make 10 of them. You know, you would just do 10, do that. At 3 you will unlock that trophy, but you'll do 10 and then you're gonna put policies in every single one of them, and that way you're gonna get the not that way. Well, you could do it that way, but you would go, well, I guess you have to do it that way. JK. Go to the policies and just put different policies for each one, and that will get you the Destroy trophy. City in Motion and City in Motion 2. So you're gonna just go, you know, have a bus route, or really any route, and all you need to do is just do like 2 points, and that's it. Just like that. Do it 50 times, you'll get the trophy. Frantic Player, Inspected Police Building 50 times in a row. So I do the headquarters. So like right here, you're just gonna take the info view and just click on and off. Do that 50 times, look at that. Prison Break, build 15 prisons. Very self-explanatory. You'll get Prison Break for that. Are they naked in there? Build a sauna. So just go to your healthcare, here's the sauna, place it down, trophy popped. When it's winter time, get a chirper look. So that's the only time you're gonna go to really the city info. Go to chirper, select the chirper that I have selected. You know, you'll use triangle, you'll get the trophy. I love trams, 10 tram lines, very same thing like I was saying with the 50 transit lines, just do it with the tram instead. Do 50 trolley lines, 2 points, connect them. Once you do 10, you have I love trams. Invincible City, 10 disasters. This should come naturally. If by chance you get the Chirpnado on like your first disaster, good for you. But in case you didn't, you could spawn random disasters, you know, manually right here. Do that, get Invincible City. Put some blimp in your blimp, have 10 blimp lines. Very similar to the helicopter. You're gonna need, you know, your blimp depot, and then 2 blimp stops. Put those down, and then put the line in, connect them, you know, and when you're connecting, use freeform, and then just do a line, just, you know, 2 stops, right? That's it. ferry lines, exact same thing as helicopters and blimps. You're gonna need a depot. Ferry depot, 2 stops, a line, connect them, and then make round trips between the stops. Do that 15 times for a ferry. Not so mono. 10 monorail lines, exact same thing. 2 stops, monorail. Front, back. Got a little crazy here, but it doesn't even have to be like that. Do that. Do 2 lines. Very simple. Back and forth. 10, you'll get not so mono, and then you're gonna eventually be able to do transit hubs. That's gonna be this tab, public transit hubs. Unlock or build all these, build every single one, and you're gonna get combo breaker, and you are also gonna get multidisciplinary transport tycoon. So next one, reporting. Let's check on a citizen's route. You're just going to go to any citizen. Usually, your residential is good, or anything near a transit. So let's see. I think that's somebody. So Oliver Green, check their route. It could be any citizen. You'll get the reporting trophy, friendly teaching, build eco-friendly schools. That is going to be the community school, institute, modern technology. Build those 3, you'll get friendly teaching. Parking not forbidden, 10 parks made with the park tool. You're going to go to your parks DLC, build a map, and that's it, just 10. Just boop, 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 boop. Do that 10 times, you'll get the parks not forbidden. You may have to put a building in there, just do that and you'll get it. Keep in mind that for zoo, you're gonna, for 100%, you're gonna have to build all types of. You're gonna have to build the amusement park, city park, zoo, and nature reserve, and you're gonna have to get the last 3 you have to get to level 5. But you just, if you're using the money system to increase money like I'm doing here, you're gonna hit level 5 with all of them. But basically, for 3 of these trophies, you need them all level 5 and put all types of buildings in there. These are a little tricky because there's a lot of props. It can be a little confusing. So the buildings, keep in mind, are anything with entertainment pollution and noise pollution values. So you see, like, a prop only has a cost. Building has entertainment pollution and noise pollution. All those have to be built, and then that's going to net you the zoo trophy. It's going to get you the coaster tycoon and naturally trophy. Ambular, 10 or 5 pedestrian walks. Very simple. Just go to the tours, put in 5 walking stops, and that will get you the Ambular trophy. Maintain that park. You're going to have park maintenance. That is going to be in your park and leisure. That's going to be right here, park maintenance building. Build that. Have a zoo, nature reserve, and amusement park in your city. You will have that already because of other trophies. You'll get that, and then you'll get that. And then sites to be seen. Sightseeing bus tours. Build the bus depot, and then just do sightseeing bus stops. Build routes, and do that for 15, and you'll get sites to be seen. Serial investor. Build 10 industry areas. That's your industries DLC, and you're just going to use this. And again, just boop, 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 boop. Boop. Serial investor. You may have to put a building in there too. I would just, if you have to, just put farm or forest. Industry tycoon, build all unique factories. So this requires all industries to be fully leveled. I believe it's 4. Yeah, level 4. And as far as I know, so when you're looking, so oil is black. So I got oil right here, and that's finite. That means it will run out. Ore is blue. That's also finite. It runs out. Forest is dark green. That it replenishes, and actually forest is the only one that I know that you could build yourself. You would just go to your tools, landscaping tools, and just build trees, and that you can create your own forest. That's the only one I know you can do on your own manually. Light green is for farm, and that is renewable too. Forest and farming is renewable. So just keep in mind that for oil and ore, you kind of have to go fast. You have to keep an eye on them to make sure you're leveling up as fast as you can to unlock those buildings. And then once you unlock all of them for forest, farming, ore, and oil, you're then going to unlock unique factories. Build every single unique factory, and you will get Industry Tycoon. Specific to oil, once you unlock the offshore drilling platform, you're going to go ahead and build 5 of them, and that's going to get you the offshore assets. If your oil is not next to a water source, the easiest thing to do is just expand your district for it, just to go out to a water source, and that should be enough. Just tolling, you're going to go to the road, build every single toll road. You'll get that trophy. Scaling up, build 10 warehouse buildings. Go to your industry tab, go to your warehouse. I suggest, actually, I use these for exporting. I mean, I don't get a lot of money from it, but I just use it. Make sure just to build it next to your airport if you're looking for a little extra cash, right? Airfolder expertise, build an airport area, 25,000 cells wide. That's going to cost quite a bit of money, but should be natural. Just build it. If you accumulate soil, it'll make it a little bit cheaper. That's some way to save money, but just regardless, just do a size 25,000 cells, and you'll get that. High cost carrier, airline ticket price set to max. You're going to go ahead and go to the policies on your airport, and mine is not showing right now, even though I'm level 3, but click R1, it'll go to airlines. There'll be a tab to change the price of tickets, set it to high, you'll get high cost carrier. Okay, now you should be done with all that. You should have all your unique buildings except for the scenario based ones. And that's what we're going to be working on now. That is part 5, right? You're pretty much at the end right here. So you're going to go ahead and just get rid of the easiest one, the underdog. That's lose 5 scenarios. The easiest thing to do is just pick any with a losing condition of money is less than 0. And then just lower taxes to 1, run up all the money, and you should lose instantly. And just get that out of the way. So for the we have a winner, win 5 scenarios, I suggest because you're gonna have to beat every single natural disaster scenario to get the sparkling unicorn, which will go towards your I Want It All trophy. So just do that, get a natural, and I'm just gonna go through these real quick. If you guys want to see like a detailed run through of these, go ahead and let me know in the comments. I'll get enough requests, I'll go ahead and do it. I do have my raw gameplay footage on my channel as well, if you wanted to look over that. But if you want like a super sufficient straightforward guide, reach out, let me know in the comments. So for Alpine Village, if you're following the guide, this is going to be very easy. The hardest part is getting it done under 350 weeks. But you should get it well before then. Again, you're just going to be using your mass transit, block off your residential, have the metros go to, you know, your commercial, which should also have your university, and it will pop. You do not have to expand the tile. If you are expanding your map, you're doing it wrong. You shouldn't have to. The only things you have to worry about are meteor strikes, but you know, again, it's not too bad, and you should have this done before the final meteor strike even hits. By the dam, you are building a city, you know, obviously right next to a dam. The dam eventually gets destroyed. When it gets destroyed, you should have enough money just to build another dam before the water even starts falling and floods. And that's the biggest thing. So very simple, do that, and then build your population to 65,000. For Floodland, this is actually the hardest one in the game. And I'm actually just going to go into it to show you how it looks like at the very end. So it's a race against time. And it actually even requires, I guess, a little bit of luck in the very beginning. The hardest part is getting the extra tile. And that's what you need to do first. So what you want to do is unlock this tile. You start on this, unlock this one. Yes, you could go down, but it's not feasible to do it. You're gonna have to go this and go uphill, and you're just gonna want to build, you know, 2 squares and just going in a straight line. And I say that because you'll have your water line, and it's just going to be like a water tower, and you know, it's going to be going straight, and you're going to be deleting as things get flooded. Just delete it all, so you're not paying taxes on it. And then eventually when you hit the end here, you start building up, and you will get to this spot by the time you finish the scenario. You're gonna have to be continually on your game, you know, checking in on this. You can't just like kind of sit back and watch. But you know, like I said, the hardest part is unlocking this tile before the flood, you know, gets you. You don't really have to worry about this overspill over here. Again, you should be fine. So there's that. The next one, I believe, is island hopping. That is where you have to worry about tsunamis. There's 2 ways really to go about it. The safest route is to basically wait until the major tsunami hits. It's the 5th one that should come, and it will completely wipe out your city. After that, no more tsunamis come. And then so once that happens, you could just start building. So you would just build your basic stuff, wait for all the tsunamis to happen, and then once that major one hits, you could just start building and you should be fine. The route that I did was basically, you know, I just kept playing through it, and when this major tsunami hit, I just kept continually paused and rebuilt as it was going. And you know, that's another way to do it. And yeah, it should be pretty much easy after that. Tornado County, same thing. Tornadoes and sinkholes pop, not a huge thing, not a huge issue. Pretty simple, and you should be fine. Mass transit, and you know, and after that, you'll, you know, you should have we have a winner, and you'll unlock the Sparkly Unicorn Park, and actually, I pretty much should be done at that point with the I Want It All. You will have to build all the buildings too. I want to point that out. For the I Want It All, at least I had to. And then so for Totally in Motion, 3 mass transit scenarios. Ferry Empire, super simple. Again, if you're just following the guide, just have people go between the ferries and you'll be fine. Traffic, fix the traffic. This is actually very simple. It can be done in 10 minutes. It looks like it's a huge mess. It's not. You basically just delete all the highways with heavy traffic, and then afterwards just go through, and the traffic in the cities just re-coordinate the streets to go certain ways. You don't even have to build mass transit in here. It's that simple. Just again, work on the actual traffic issues, don't delete anything, just add to the population, and again, you'll be fine. And then trains, yay! So the hardest part is really just the 20 weeks and the 150 weeks. After that, it's smooth sailing. So just continually save. As you hit those milestones, the 20 weeks and the 150, make sure you're on course to achieve that, and then you should be fine. The wind conditions, 210 tracks, not a problem. 200,000 people, not an issue. And then so with your scenarios done, again, for the I Want It All, you may have to build all your buildings. I did. I didn't need the Eiffel Tower, remember that. And then so here, last part, you're just going to be going for your 1001 Nights and the Chirpnado if you still need it. Hopefully you don't. Hopefully it's just the 1001 Nights at this point. And for me, I did it on a winter map, light field, because I was going for the Plowmaster trophy, which is have snow plows collect 2 million units of snow. And so, it could just be a super short map. I went overboard. I really didn't need to. I just got bored. And I was also going for some other stuff. But snowplow is right here in services. Snow dump. And then just have that, and eventually you'll get snowplow. Have your system on overnight. I was doing mine like 16 hours at a time. You could do 8 if you want to be safe. Get 4 hours rest, 8 hours on. If you're going for Chirpnado still at this point, the best thing you can do is, one, have your city kind of laid out where it is disaster proof, meaning that there is like power going everywhere, and water, so things hit, that happens. But you also want to basically babysit while you're AFKing. So have your game going in the background, do other stuff around the house, because when a disaster hits, your game speed resets to normal every time, and you want it on 3 times speed, to increase the disaster frequency. So if you're still going for the Chirpnado, I hope you're not, but if you are, at this point, do that, and just keep doing it until you get the Chirpnado. And so that is it, guys. That should be everything. If Cities comes out with more DLCs with trophies, I will add to them. If you guys got questions, tips, or just suggestions, go ahead and leave them in the comment, or you could email me. I will highlight anything that is definitely more beneficial. Again, I was hoping for this to be a community effort. Just want to get this started. So thank you for watching. Hope this is helpful. See you next time.